Mr. Mhlanga, thank you very much for your time. So, as Matrics return today, talk to us about the state of readiness in as far as the safety measures, health and safety measures around COVID-19.
Good morning, Xoli. Yes, we are ready, and the break that we've had was very important to fix some of those issues that you are referring to regarding resources, safety, and related matters. So we are today receiving the grade 12s who are returning after their break, and of course we are working on receiving the grade 7s who are returning next week. And
Mr. Mhlanga, the Teachers Union, SATU, that's the biggest in the country, very worried about the kind of help, whether you talk psychosocial services that will be on hand should any case breaks out at school. What kind of measures are there? Because this is a real worry and people are affected in many ways because some teachers as well have been dying.
Well, the resources of the country right now are overstretched. The capacity has been tested in real terms because there's a need for this type of services everywhere. So the education system as well is equally affected in that regard. But we have worked together with our partner departments who work in this space, such as Department of Social Development, as well as Health. And we have brought in our own social workers as well. But they are not enough. I mean, we have never anticipated that we would have a challenge of this magnitude in this country. So we are doing work with what we have under the circumstances, but we hope that the situation will improve as we go, because what remains of huge concern now is the increasing infections in communities, which then affect all sectors of the country.
Yeah, I remember at the point of the closure again of the school after the president had made this announcement, one of the unions stating that the average age of a South African teacher is 49 years old. How willing are teachers to go to school and do the, teaching and learning on site? How prepared are they to go to school knowing very well that they might contract this virus?
Out of our 400,000 teachers, a huge majority is in school. It's only about 22 or 23,000 of them who have applied to work from home because of medical conditions that could become dangerous if they were to be exposed to the virus. But the others are going to school, understanding that they need to take care to protect themselves and others around them by doing those basic practices we have been told we need to do. Those are washing hands, sanitizing, keeping social distancing, as well as wearing your mask. And their added responsibilities that they need to remind the learners to do the same. So that's why a large majority of them are in school and they're teaching. Yes, the fear is there, we acknowledge it, but we have to work through it. Otherwise, we'll be paralyzed by the virus. Yes, it is dangerous and some people are passing away, but we need to find a way to get around this situation because it can be beaten. The truth is that we can avoid infections. We just need to adhere to the health and safety regulations and try to stay safe, even when you're out there in a shopping mall or in school, for that matter.
The grade 7s will return next week, Mr. Mhlanga. Are the unions on board in allowing their members to make sure that they are at school and they are going to provide the much-needed teaching and learning?
The unions are our partners. They've been part of the process every day as we work towards preparing the system to return. But you are never going to satisfy everyone 100%. But you try as much as you can to fix the system and get it ready to receive the learners as well as the educators and non-teaching staff. So you make sure that all of those things that they talk about are put in place. But we need to remember also that when the president announced the break that was going to be there for 4 weeks, he also indicated that there was going to be a task team from key stakeholders and the department to work through all the issues that will have been raised by the teacher unions. Some have been sorted out and others are not, because some are long-term in nature. They've got to do with the inequalities of the country, which are historical, and some of them are issues that are beyond our control, but we need to talk about them and contact those other organs of state that are responsible for the provision of those particular services or resolving those issues, so that we work together on sorting these things out, because we really need to make school as comfortable a place as possible, so that learning and teaching can take place. Right now, where we are hoping that there won't be any more disruptions, because the 163 days that we've got, it's already a huge loss. But with the trimmed curriculum and the programming that has now been put in place, we should be able to complete the work by the 15th of December for those grades that are selected, and the rest of the work will continue into 2021 for grade 12s.
All right, Mr. Mhlanga, very, very briefly, as we wrap up with you, you have released the revised calendar. Anything striking that teachers and parents should be aware of?
Well, it's the fact that we need to support our learners right now. Some of them are worried, they are not sure, they say they're demotivated because there have been a lot of start-stop, and that has impacted on their morale as well. So we need to assist them to get through the work that needs to be done. But still, as a parent, if you feel that you're not comfortable taking your child to school, you can keep them at home and use the resources that we've put in place to access good quality curriculum content that can prepare your child for the remainder of the year in terms of assessments and examinations. So there's still an opportunity for us to work together to complete this year in a reasonable manner that will not have ended in a devastating loss to the schoolwork and the school year that we have to conclude in this year.
All right. Elijah Mhlanga, thank you very much for your time. It speaks for the basic education.